Yes, sir. Good morning and welcome to the program. Know You're Right. Legal program on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria, and the official radio of the Anglican Communion Diocese of Lagos. It's another Friday. Yes, the 9th day of July 2021, and it's 16 minutes gone past the hour of 9. From now till 10 a.m., you know the time. We will be educating you and yes, also informing you, yeah, on your data rights in Nigeria. Download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. And we are live. We are streaming live on Facebook. That's Lagoon Radio Nigeria. You can also watch us live on YouTube at Lagoon TV. Yes. As a citizen, when you hear about data, what does your mind lead you to? Yes, some will say the data subscription, but some will say information concerning us. Okay, I have a barrister Adeyemi Owade in the studio. Barrister, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Okay, like I told you, we are discussing understanding data rights in Nigeria. Barrister, when we talk about data rights, what is data rights all about?
Okay, data generally means information. So, and when we talk about information, we refer to information regarding the person. So, this data rights that we are talking about is uh, from it takes its power from the Constitution, just as other fundamental human rights does. So um, we have different kind of rights. Like
Okay.
you've heard people talk about right to life, right of expression, and the likes. So data, personal data right is from the right of privacy, section 37 that says you have right to your privacy, such that you have right to secure your property, secure everything that belongs to you. So personal data comes from all those things that identify with the person. That is information regarding your name, your biodata, everything concerning you, everything that identify with you, such that it even has to do with your movements, things that we can use to identify you, your beliefs, your perspective about things, everything that concerns you, such that your information that you put online can also be regarded as your personal data. So when we talk about personal data rights, these data rights now are rights that accrues from the information that identify with you.
Mm. Okay, what scope of coverage do these data rights cover?
Like I said, that it those all information accruing from the person, from the
Okay.
human person, such that the person is a man, and because he's a man, everything that has to do with him, things like his blood group, his genotype, his name, his identity, is the way he walks, the way he talks. We even call it digital footprint, such that his expression, his movement everywhere has to do with him. So data rights now, based on the law that regulates data protection in Nigeria, we have the data protection regulation. So the data protection regulation as sees the human person as someone that have information, and because he has information, his data must be protected. So the data protection regulation covers all your personal information online and offline.
Okay. Now, what are their sources?
Okay. Like I said in the beginning, I mentioned that the Constitution, like we all know, is the ground norm of the law. That is, it's like the father of all other laws. So all other laws get their strength and their sustenance from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, but then we have all of that. We have different kind of laws in Nigeria, subsidiary laws that also exist. As it stands, we have the data protection regulation, like I mentioned, and the cybercrime act and all other acts. But the major law that talk about the data rights in Nigeria is the data protection regulation. For now, it's not yet an act, but still a regulation. Regulation in the sense that it controls what data controllers, people that collect our data, and people that process our data, such that if I give someone my data, I know that the law is saying that this is what it should do and this is what it should not do.
Okay. Now, talking about this, I want to ask about something about police. But before that, are data rights absolute?
Okay. Data rights absolute. I don't think there is a right that is entirely absolute. So rights are since, like I said, they take their existence from the Constitution, and when the Constitution is giving you the right, it's saying that this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do. So if we say right to information is absolute, we are trying to say that right, you can actually say what you want to say, you can express your opinion, even to the detriment of others. that will be an anomaly to say. We can say that you can just talk anyhow, and you probably, your right is the extent to which your right is the extent to which it does not affect the other person, such that you can just go and say, because you have personal data right, you can begin to dish out information about other person. That means you have passed your boundary of your own personal data. It's no longer personal data. You have entered into another person's data. So
Okay, now talking about crossing the boundary or entering into another one's data.
okay.
Yes, sometime last year we had the NSAS and the rest of them, and which led it was all about police brutality. And talking about police brutality, it has not ended. And you see police harassing some people, open your phone, this, that. So, and we say that the Constitution is the grand norm. And in the Constitution, and we've had IG of police over time say that the policeman doesn't have a right to search your phone. So in this case now, is police exempted from that Constitution or from the law?
It's not like police are now exempted from the law. All of us are under the law.
Okay.
Nobody's above the law. And that's what makes the Constitution, it's supreme. It's called the supremacy of the law. So the thing is, if you are going to investigate,
Okay.
there must be there's something we call warrants of arrest and search warrants. So if you are going to search me, except there are exceptions to these things, if you are going to search me, you must tell me that, okay, I have a warrant to search you. So if there is nothing like that, you don't have any power to come and infringe on my privacy, such that you can't even come into my house without a search warrant. Okay. And begin to search my house. I have a right to privacy in my house. So you can't just come into my house and begin to look at different things that I have in my house.
Okay. Now, now having mentioned this, now I want to know, how can data rights be protected?
Okay. The law, like I said, guarantees that each person that collects your data, such as your maybe website where you put your data, you go to health center, they collect certain information from you, everything identified with you. They collect your blood group, this, that, and that, and you go to different places. These people, we call them the data controllers. They are the ones who collect data from you. So the law gives them an obligation to secure the data that they are collecting, such that they protect what they collect from you.
Okay.
So the obligation is on the data controller to protect the data collected from you. So Facebook as a website, even though it's an open source website, has an obligation to protect the data that I put there.
Okay. Now, having said this, now we'll go on this short break. But when we come back, we'll look at the role of the judiciary, and we'll talk a bit more on the Twitter ban, social media bill, and the rest of them. Keep listening to us. It's all about Know Your Rights, your legal program on Lagoon Radio. And download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, yes, and of course, we are streaming live there. It's Lagoon Radio Nigeria. And on Instagram, I wanted to mention woman Twitter. Yes, on Instagram, it's Lagoon Radio NG. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Oh, yes, welcome back. You're still on to Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. We are transmitting from the Diocesan Palace right here in Marina, Lagos. And it's Know Your Right, our legal program on Lagoon Radio. And today we are discussing understanding data rights in Nigeria. Yes, I am still your host, Anosike Chimese, and Barrister Adeyemi Owade is still here. And remember, you can download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook. Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and we are streaming live on Facebook and on Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. Yes, we've been able to talk about what data right is all about and the scope of coverage. Now, Barrister, there is this principle of where one's right ends, another person's right begins from there. And looking into the context of the data rights in Nigeria, is that a true statement?
Okay. I think before we went on break, I was trying to say that there is a limit to which you can say you want to express your right, so to say, such that you can infringe on other people's rights while expressing your right. I know that I have data rights, I have personal data rights that I can make use of. Take, for example, one of the rights, one of the core parts of data rights as provided by the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation is right to be forgotten, right to erasure. That is, you can decide to say, okay, there's something that the Nigeria Tribune published about, I'm just using that as an example, a Nigerian daily published about me, and I want it to be forgotten, I want it to be erased, I want it to be removed entirely. But the law is saying that, okay, yes, it's your right to it's your right, it's called the right to be forgotten. It's your right that this concept published about you should be deleted and should be erased and should be forgotten. But there is something that will prevent it. There are exceptions to it. One of the exceptions is that you should public policy, or maybe a legal a case is still in court that has to do with that. You cannot use your right to prevent the dispensation of justice.
Okay.
Do you get? So even though I have a data right to say this should be deleted, this should be deleted from online about me, but because there's a case ongoing in court, or there's an investigation by the police on that matter, the publication house may not delete it. That may be like a limitation to one of the data rights, which is right to be forgotten.
Okay, are there data rules people need to be aware of in Nigeria?
Oh, generally, it's not like there is a fixed body of rules somewhere that people should, okay, when you want to make use of your internet, this is what you should follow. Like a primary school child will say when it is time for break time, you go on break. It's not like that. It's not like maybe there's a time that you should. But then it is important that people should understand that when they post something, when they write something, the internet does not forget. The internet does not forget. We call it digital footprint. Unlike when you write on your paper and you tear it and you burn it, it's gone. But then online, when you write online, even if you have deleted it, there are still information in the cloud space. So it is important that when you are writing, ask yourself, this thing that I'm writing, is it worth it? Is it the truth? Is it speech is even a thing? Is it the truth? Is it the right thing to be said? Will it affect other people that are going to read it or going to see it or going to watch it somewhere else? We call it the digital footprint. Your footprint is everywhere the moment you post. So before you click post, ask yourself, does it worth it?
Okay, from this statement now, from what you said now, we are painting a picture of the anti-social media bill. Yes, social media, it has raised a lot of fake news, no doubt about that. And the current administration, ably led by President Muhammadu Buhari, and also the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, he has been in the forefront of this social media bill. And there were allegations by the media that the presidency is trying to gag the media on informations. Now, looking at the social media bill, let me get your view on that social media bill.
Okay, generally, the world has advanced, and from the point where we all used to stay in at home. When I was young, we read the Tell magazine and we wait for the Tell magazine to come out to bring out news about what is happening in government. And Tell magazine was popular because it tells us about the things that happen in the military era. So, but then it's now more than somebody sitting down in a publication house publishing a news. Now, news come from anywhere. So I can sit down in my home, not even sitting down, on the road. Down there on the road, something happened. I pick my phone up, snap or record and put it online. Then that's the news already. So it's now looking like, so everybody is now a newscaster. But then the scope to which we have regulation of the broadcasting of news in the past was the Nigerian Broadcasting Code regulates the broadcasters, such that the broadcasters everywhere can not say some things and can say some things, and they are properly regulated. Let me use that word, properly regulated. So then, of course, with the way social media and the internet now is, in the expression of the fundamental right of people, which digital right is one of them, right to express yourself online, right to express yourself, right to talk, right to post, right to do everything you want to do. People try and go beyond what they should do, such that there's stuff we call hate speech. You begin to say things that you should not say. You condemn people against what you should say. So then we now begin to look at it. Does it mean that because people can say what they can say, we should stop people from talking?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So if we say people have freedom of expression, we now say that because someone cursed my dad yesterday, we should cut everybody's tongues. Or someone talk and said something against what I'm doing. That means there's no freedom of expression. The moment you say people cannot talk again because they said something that you don't agree with, that's a limit to expression. And in the world now, the world has now gone through what we now call, so many countries now have freedom of information law, such that the press house, even the press house, have the right to publish news. Of course, Nigeria still limits the broadcasting house to what they can report and what they cannot report, so to say, such that there is a limit to what some broadcasting house can say. But then it begs the question that what then is freedom of expression?
Okay.
And that is the question everybody is asking. That if this social media bill is to prevent some people from posting anything or saying what they ought to say, is it not against the right to freedom of expression? Is it not against freedom of expression? So that's the question that we're asking now.
Okay. If you look at this social media bill, it was titled "Protection from Internet Falsehoods and Manipulations and Other Related Matters Bill," and this bill was sponsored by a senator representing Niger East. Now, they are not saying, according to the bill, when it was presented, they are not saying it's against freedom of speech, but the government wants to curtail spread of fake news. But now, is fake news also a right to freedom of expression?
Okay, like I said, before we got here, we talked about limits to what you can do with your right.
Yeah.
So, and I made mention of the fact that you can talk does not mean that you can say everything.
Sure.
So, falsehood is bad, and we cannot say because something is bad, we try to corner it and call it something else. It is important that everybody should know that even though we have the right to talk, even though we have the right to spread information, we should not spread falsehood. But then, it is now important to know that on the other side of the discussion, government may be a little bit right to say that, okay, people are spreading falsehood. Let's do something about it.
Okay.
Let's do something about it. People are using the internet to cause havoc in the society. What are we going to do about it? Let's find something to do about it. And the argument may be that, okay, people can gather together and cause treason, and there may be rebellion. There may be revolution in the country, and the country may not be able to control it. So it is good to say that they want to nip it in the bud. But the question is that, what is the approach?
Okay.
What is the approach? What are we trying to do to control information? Are we carrying the social media outlets along? Maybe Facebook. I think before the ban of Twitter tried to do something such that if you want to retweet a news link, Twitter will ask you, do you mind reading it? I don't know if that is available on Facebook, but then it shows that the social media companies too, they are seeing that there are a lot of falsehood going on there. So it now makes it important that the government and the parastatals responsible for information in Nigeria and the people and the people who owns the company, the social media platforms, Facebook, the popular ones, Instagram, Twitter, and the likes, should come together and say, okay, this is how we can guard against the proliferation of false news. Because even if you say people, there are news that you will not know that they are not even true until you now begin to. Have you ever been to a blog that the headline is what he's saying, but it's not what he's saying. What is inside the main news is not what the news is saying. That is falsehood. That is falsehood. That is a lie.
Okay.
So there should be a control. We all agree to that. There should be a control to which, and government cannot do that by cutting everything off.
Okay.
That's not the solution. My people will say the cutting of head is not the solution for headache.
Oh.
So,
okay, you're still listening to Know Your Right, our legal program on Lagoonradio. We'll go on this short break. And that was Barrister Adeyemi Owode. He has been telling us something. He has been teaching us. He has been educating us on the data rights in Nigeria. We'll go on this short break. When we come back, we'll look at the Twitter ban and also the NIN number, which we are submitting. Some people say that they are giving out their data that is not protected. And we'll talk about data rights protection. We'll be right after this break. Yes, sir. Welcome back. I still know you're right on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria. Don't forget to download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. You can listen to us directly via the link www.lagoonradio.ng. And on Facebook, you can also watch us live. Facebook Nigeria, Lagoon Radio. And also on Instagram, we are very, very active. Lagoon Radio NG. Now, Barrister, we talked about you mentioned about Twitter. Now let's look at Twitter ban in Nigeria. Is it not an infringement on the rights of the citizens?
Okay, the digital rights of the citizen. Digital rights says that you have right to access the internet and drop information, use the internet, and that's what digital rights is saying. So they are now saying that access, we are taking it away. Is that not an infringement of digital rights? Oh, it's a good question, and which everybody have been asking. All of us have been asking. So what's the point? What's the point if you say that I can talk, but I cannot talk everywhere? I can talk everywhere, but I cannot talk everywhere. Is that not sounding like, why then do you say I can talk if I can talk everywhere, but I cannot talk in some places? So it's a serious issue still under debate. And I think Nigeria Bar Association has risen up to the call to do something about it. Many people, because it's not normal. We can't lie to ourselves. It's not normal. It's reducing digital rights that we have. So if I say that you can use all of that social media, but you can't use this one. Okay. Why must you tell me which one to use? Why must you tell me where I should not go or where I can go? Of course, so many countries have tried this. This is what they do in China. And because of the kind of government they practice in China, we can say China is a communist nation. So they can actually decide to bar their citizens from using some social media. But then this is Nigeria. This is a democratic era. We have rights. And we should be able to express our rights. So use of Twitter is our rights. So, and barring us from using it is an infringement of our rights.
Oh, okay. Now, let's look at the NIN number. At the time, the Minister of Communication threatened to cut off any person that is not registered on NIN. Was that move a right move?
Okay. I think one of our seniors, Olumakaiye and some other people have spoken about this severally. And there is even a court case. One of our seniors instituted a matter against it to prevent the mobile networks from banning people because of NIN. So it appears that, okay, government wants to gather our data in one place, which we all have been calling for, that it doesn't make sense. Data proliferation, it doesn't make sense. You give data to JAMB, you give data to people like us that went to federal schools, you give data to your federal school, you give same government, you give data to bank, you give data to immigration. Same data, same information, same set of people, same government. And you begin to ask yourself, what is the security of this data? Which is the question every one of us have been asking. That what measures are they putting in place to ensure that all this data they collect from us is secured? And we can all answer the question. Nigeria data security is let me not.
Okay, you mentioned data security, and at a time, sometime in recent past, just recently, the president announced that every citizen should submit his or her IMEI number to the communication ministry and the rest of them. And it's raised eyebrows. Some people said that it's an infringement. In fact, it's direct access to our data as citizens.
Okay, it's like I'm using TV in my house and you are not living in my house. I say I have privacy, and you want to say, okay, can I know the make of your TV? Be like, why? Can I know the make of your CCTV? Okay, there's a code in your CCTV. Can you call it out for me? That's just what it looks like. It looks like you actually infringe on my privacy, because that is what it's a code. It's a code for your phone that identify your phone, such that if it can actually be used to trace me. If I am carrying the phone and I'm somewhere, you can trace the phone using some advanced technology to know where I am. Some phones can be tracked actually. So if you can know my IMEI number, you can actually trace me. So it's like saying that we are giving out everything that has to do with us if we are giving out our IMEI number. And that's why people raise the argument that this data that you people are collecting, say, what are you even using it for? One. Two, you are now coming down so close to us, like you want to collect the key to our house. What then is privacy? What then is privacy? What do I have to say this is me that I can guard? Because that's the idea of privacy. The idea of privacy is that I want to keep this thing to myself. It's my phone. It's not your phone. It's not government property now.
Okay, looking at the judiciary in Nigeria, and we say it's the last hope of the common man.
Yes.
And looking at the data privacy and the rest of them, even the invasions by the police and the rest of them, as a legal practitioner, what is your advice to the ordinary citizens and also to the government in the face of this IMEI?
IMEI and government. It's okay. The judiciary, like you said, is the last hope of men, and all these things that we are talking about, data this one, data that one, intellectual property rights, digital rights, everything. When there are conflicts or there are arguments, even if you go to arbitration, you will still get back to court. So it makes us to ask the question. Okay, some people have raised the question that the people that we are carrying the matter to go and meet in court, are they well aware of the advancements in technology when it comes to data? Do they even know the concept of digital? If I mention IMEI to some people, they know what they mean. So the legal education in Nigeria needs to grow. The education of the judiciary, it's very important. I would take what I just say about legal education. It's not for the lawyers alone. It's not for the law student alone. Even the judiciary, even the common man, everybody needs to know what is their rights, what is the basic thing that they should do. If a police arrest you, what should you do? These are common things that everybody should know. In school, they should teach school students to know that this is what you should do. It's not government alone. So to say, in civil education, in civic education, right, they must tell children to know that, okay, these are your rights. This is what you should do if your right is infringed upon. This is what you should do. Like I said, legal education is so important that in a case of Google versus Oracle, people argued that the judges who heard the case were not even, this is an American case, it's not a Nigerian case, were not even well up to date with the developments in that case. Do you know what that means? What that means is that you are sitting on a matter that you don't even know much about.
You don't have idea of what is going on.
What do you think will happen? And people have questioned the decision in the case. So that is America. Now Nigeria, I don't know. Many of us are still coming up, so we still have a lot of things to learn when it comes to technology. We still have a lot of improvements to do when it comes to the court system. What's the machines, the electronic evidence, or a lot of things needs to be done. Like you said, court is the last hope of men, and all of us are looking up to the court. And the courts that we are looking up to, we hope government and the judiciary itself will improve itself so that they will be well informed to know what is our own right as technology improves and
Okay.
changes.
Okay, that was a barrister Adeyemi Owa. The barrister, thank you for talking to us this morning, and
It's a pleasure to be here.
I will hope to see you when next we'll call on you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's the size of the package this morning on Lagoon Radio. Remember, you can download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. Listen to us directly via the link www.lagoonradio.ng. From me, Anosi Kechimeze, do have a lovely day.